Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Contiengecy Plan Podcast. My name is Jedi Master David, and with me, as always, is Darth Austin.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome, everybody, to our pre-celebration podcast. Woo! Only one of us is going. Our pre-celebration podcast. Yeah, so it's just around the corner. We're actually going to double up podcast here tonight, so that we have one the Monday before, and then the Monday technically during. And then we'll do some other. We might even stop kind of the reread and just do like a celebration recap podcast or something like that.
Ooh, yes, because I definitely want to talk about what I didn't get to go see.
Trust me, you will want to. But let's talk about that a little bit more in HoloNet. Let's do a little Jedi Council. How's it been going?
I've been all right. I haven't had an ear infection, so I can't complain.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck that was. Came down with an ear infection of all things. I used to have them when I was a kid, like so bad that I had to have like the tubes. They put the tubes in your ears.
Oh God, I don't think I've ever had one. Honestly,
in my adult life, this is like the second one. It was pretty bad. I mean, it would like radiate all the way up through my temple down to my jaw. So it kind of made like eating food on the left side of my mouth, kind of like it made it tender. So I'm chewing on the right side of my mouth. I know that's super interesting information.
It doesn't even sound like an ear infection. You just probably should get that taken care of.
No, it was. I did. I went in and got it looked at and give you the antibiotics for 7 days. 7 days, and then aspirin. Like
yes.
Literally, the person was like,
"The cure-all to every disease, aspirin." Because I don't know what's wrong with you.
well, so she said, "So are you taking like anything?" And I call all pain meds aspirin. Mm-hmm. That's just I took some aspirin. Yeah.
That's probably a
Tylenol,
super Ohio thing.
Tylenol. I don't even know if it's Ohio. It just might be a weird thing. But like Tylenol, ibuprofen.
Acetaminophen. Do you say acetaminophen?
No, it's aspirin. All that. I just call it. Yeah, I took a couple aspirin, and she was like, "Well, how about you try Tylenol?" Well, actually, that's what I took was Tylenol. Oh, okay. Well, just rotate. Just rotate in between. So that was her advice. Like, here, take a Tylenol. Next day, take a ibuprofen. Next day, taking a freaking Advil or something.
Isn't it funny she said that, but like it wouldn't have mattered if you had said Tylenol. She probably would have said take an aspirin. But since you said aspirin, it's like, I'll take a Tylenol. Because I don't know what's wrong with you.
Well, yeah. No, I mean, she did what she could do, but... yeah, it's also in the ear that like when I'm at work, I put one headphone in.
And it's that one.
it's that ear.
And it's not a universal headphone, is it?
No. Well, I mean, I have like the AirPods that are like the wireless.
Oh, I thought you meant like a single.
No. Yeah, no. I did.
Okay.
I just put one in, the other one's in its little case thingy. So yeah, no, it's been an interesting week. I took off Monday. It was so bad, and just kind of like. Sat around and watched this show that I'd never heard of before, but somehow I found it on Hulu called Letterkenny. You ever heard of that?
Letterkenny?
Yeah, it's Canadian. It's like comedic, but it's like I don't know. It's this weird show about. It's very Canadian. No. So you got the main character who he's like their equivalent of a hick.
Okay.
So a farmer. And we have our own definitions of hicks around here.
Yeah.
Around here. But so you have him and his buddies and his sister who like have the family farm and they do farm stuff. And then there's like the emo goth druggies and then the hockey players. So they're jocks.
Of course, there has to be hockey players.
And it's just like it's weird because I guess it originally started as a web series like on YouTube. And they were just doing like what's the redneck jokes? The Jeff Foxworthy, you might be a redneck.
Yeah.
And it was like, I think it was just called like Letterkenny Problems. So it was like, things that happen in a small Canadian town, But no, it's actually, so I basically just sat there and power watched a few seasons. There's there's
school?
like 5 seasons. No,
Oh, okay.
No. Interesting show, and then for some reason I watched the 3 seasons of Rick and Morty.
Yeah, that cycles through my.
I've never watched it before.
Oh, you never watched
Nope.
Rick and Morty?
Nope.
Why isn't that the first thing we started talking about?
Well,
you must not like You must not like it.
Well, no.
You didn't text me about it, so
because I know you'd be like, oh, you watched it. I don't know. For the longest time, I just looked at it. It's like, why the hell would I want to watch a cartoon? But, I remember in, I think it was like high school, Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
It's kind of like that, isn't it? Or Family Guy or all those.
Well,
a little more intelligent
it's
than
a
Family Guy.
little deeper. But no, I actually did kind of enjoy it. I was surprised there were only 3 seasons.
Well, they've been taking forever on the 4th. It's been like 2-3 years. They're about to come out with the 4th here soon.
Well, it seems like they got to think it out a little bit harder. Who's a clone? Who's a robot? Who's evil? Who's fake? What universe are you in? So yeah, no, I kind of just sat on the couch. I had this is like my own personal sick time remedy because it's what I was given as a kid. Campbell's chicken and star soup, not chicken and noodle, but chicken and stars.
Yep.
And normally it would like accompany like a 7-Up or something or a ginger ale, but I don't, because like my face was hurting. I didn't really want to put sugar into that. So
ginger ale doesn't have all that much sugar though compared to others, right?
Still soda, but so I was just water and some tea.
You know what you needed? Potato soup.
Well, yeah, that was like rarity. Everybody's like, potato soup? That's not Star Wars.
Neither's Rick and Morty, but I'm sure everyone's like, that's not. Oh, well, let's talk about Rick and Morty though.
Yeah, no, it was an interesting show. I actually kind of like. I think I had seen some videos of like the voice actors, and like I looked at them. It's like these guys look like dorks. Yeah. Like why in the hell? And then, but then when you take that away, and like the simpering that more. There was just one scene where it was like, I think they had switched dimensions or something. Oh, no. It was after the whole Inception thing with the Szechuan sauce. It was the very end, and he's like, I don't know, he knocks Morty over. It's like, I can do what I want, Morty. Yep. He was like, oh, no. It's like,
wasn't that the end of the first season or something?
I have no idea. I don't remember which was which. But no, it was interesting.
I forget which season it was, but they actually announced a season on, or they kept saying it's like, yeah, it's gonna drop April 1st, and everyone's like, oh, real funny. It did drop on April 1st. That was the joke, because their view count was terrible because no one thought it would actually drop.
That's funny. So yeah, no, that's kind of what I did this week. That Letterkenny show has like 5 or 6 or 10. It has a lot of seasons, but they're short. There's like, I don't know, 6 to 10 episodes in a season. But yeah, it's Canadian TV.
I found a decent new Netflix original. Started watching Umbrella Academy. It's weird, but have you heard of it?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Do you know the premise of it?
Vaguely. They're like super kids or something, aren't they?
Yeah, it's like these 40 or 50 babies were all born to women who weren't pregnant on the same day at the same time, and this rich guy scoops up all that he can.
Professor X.
Yeah, no, he's not a good guy.
Neither was Professor X.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I actually had that conversation the other night, how like neither Magneto or Professor X was really a good guy when you think about it.
Well, it all depends on your perception of...
They both help mutants, and if it was about helping mutants, they both kind of succeeded.
Well...
Magneto saved people that would have never gone to Professor X, and vice versa.
Well, Magneto was shaped by his perception of the Holocaust.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more to his backstory, so he's a lot more jaded than... I feel like I was flipping names there for some reason, so I want to clarify. I said Magneto with the Holocaust, and then Professor X had a different experience because I think he was based on like British backstory.
Yeah, he was British. Well, unless you go by the
I don't want
the new movies, because they grew up together in that one, and Magneto was the one that caused him to be disabled, whereas in the comics it was actually his stepbrother.
Oh, right.
Who was
the Juggernaut.
Well, by the way, getting even more off topic from Star Wars.
Might as well.
Juggernaut in Deadpool 2 was amazing. They really did
Never
Juggernaut
watched
well.
it. Yeah, I see that the guy who played the Juggernaut, that gave that line that everybody on the Juggernaut. And that dude is hilarious. I mean, he was a soccer player, an English football player, so he's a freaking soccer hooligan.
Yeah. But
So
they
they
did a
just
good
blew 'em up
job
and made 'em
with it.
big
They really
suit.
did.
Yeah, it's cool.
But no, honestly, X-Men was always my favorite in the Marvel universe, even though it's kind of separate from.
Well, see, I watched the cartoon from the '90s, and that was probably my favorite. My favorite one. Well, that and Batman. I love the Batman cartoon. So I watched Batman cartoon and the X-Men cartoon, and I was pretty good after that. I didn't really care about much else. I wanted to see more of Morph.
Yeah.
Because he was like in the first episode, and then he quote dies, comes back later. He was kind of evil then, or whatever.
I'm just glad they made Gambit the badass he was, because they ruined him in the movies.
Well,
he had like a cameo. I want a movie just about him.
Yeah, Gambit. He was probably my favorite character. I mean, my God, he made like plasma cards.
Yeah,
and he had a cool staff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Gambit,
no, I was down with that.
Gambit and who was the blue guy that was Mystique's Nightcrawler. Yeah, Nightcrawler was definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, we played quite a bit of the X-Men 2 on Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even remember who I remember you played I probably played Wolverine or something like that.
Probably. I think it was you had Wolverine.
I think they had Gambit in there, didn't they?
They had Gambit.
Yeah,
they had
please, Gambit.
I'm gonna completely mess up on names here. The two that were kind of in love but not, the laser eye guy.
Yeah, Cyclops and Jean Grey. The Phoenix. Huh. Interesting. So yeah,
was there only one TV series? Because I only remember that one. in the 90s.
I mean, there was a cartoon. They've done some other stuff. Then there was the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which was like, well, they're not X-Men, because we don't own the rights yet. But
I never really got into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I actually liked the first couple seasons, and I got kind of disillusioned with it.
Because that birthed what's her name? What was the other one that came out after that? The old lady that knew Captain America.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. People are probably shouting at their phones or whatever.
Shouting both her
Agent
name.
Carter. Yeah. I mean, she was kind of cool. I like the first Captain America movie. That was good.
I'm just kind of burnt out on Marvel.
Yeah, I'm done.
I just like a really good TV series or movie reboot of X-Men, and then I'd be good. I'd trade most of the Marvel movies that are coming out now for that.
Yeah, I could see that.
But honestly, I don't think you could really have a good... I hate to say it, Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. I don't think you could really have a good Wolverine after that.
Well, the interesting thing about Hollywood is there are tons of actors in it. It takes a correct casting decision, obviously.
Although he really wasn't even that pivotal of a character when you think about it before the movies came out. He was, but not like the movies.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends. He was a lot more of a focal point in the movies for sure. Yeah. But I mean, like, you know, casting can do wonders. I mean, could you imagine Luke Skywalker as anybody else than Mark Hamill?
No.
There was one that
they finally talked about Star Wars.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm going to get away from Star Wars. One of the casting decisions that I've always thought pretty heavy about was Aragorn in Lord of the Rings trilogy. So obviously Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah.
Now that was originally cast Stuart Townsend, who played. He's done some obscure stuff, and then there was like. He was Dorian Gray in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. He was in the Queen of the Damned movie with Aaliyah, the vampire movie. I read those books. Yeah, I read those were actual vampire, like bloody vampire books, not Twilight books. But so they brought him in, and Peter Jackson wasn't feeling him. Like literally, they hired him.
Really?
Like Viggo Mortensen was not.
So are there scenes with him?
I don't know. I don't think
somewhere?
If there was maybe. I mean, I assume so. They would have had to have done some screen testing, but yeah, they tried him, and then they rang up Viggo and were like, "Hey, man, get on over here." So it's like Han Solo. Anyone else in Harrison Ford?
Yeah.
Mel Gibson.
Well, that kid kind of proved that. I mean, you can have a really good actor, but it's no. honestly.
No, well, he's not Harrison Ford. For sure.
Don't comment on that.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I'm commenting on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I
We've
was
already talked about enough. You can't do that.
he's texting me messages while we're sitting next to each other. It's like we're 13-year-old girls in middle school.
Exactly.
Oh, are you 13 in middle school? Is that how old you are?
I don't know.
It's been too long.
Google it.
Yeah, I'm good. So anyway,
Hey,
let's go ahead and pop over and do some HoloNet, because the big thing is Celebration is coming up. 5 days now by the count. I am
Around
probably
the same time as Game of Thrones.
That's
just not right.
Well, here's the thing. So me and my buddy Ez love Game of Thrones too. So basically, we're gonna get out of the convention hall, head back to the hotel room, pop on Game of Thrones, and start binging that.
Yeah, they're dropping the whole season, right?
I don't know about that. I don't know how HBO does that. I don't think they do. I don't think they do that.
It's been too long.
I think they do. Well,
Weekly?
I think they do episode by episode. It's not like Netflix. I don't think.
Still
But
an
we'll
hour.
see.
It's an hour and a half a week.
Yeah,
so.
each of them are an hour and a half now. So yeah, it's going to be mini movies. But I'm stoked about that. But yeah, Celebration coming up. I mean, I've said this in the past. I bought this ridiculous VIP pass. To be honest, I really wasn't looking to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those things where I was like, you know what? I'm never going to get this.
No, I don't want to buy
the
it.
thing is I never thought in a million years that I'd be able to get it, because it was all random chance. It was just whoever was in line first, because they put in a queuing system. And somehow, because I don't know if I've told the story, but originally what I was supposed to do was me, my buddy Mike, and Ez, who are going, we were all supposed to get together, call off that day, and we never did. Never got it ironed out.
Yeah.
We were all going to sit together on all computers going, and whoever got in, we were just going to charge whoever's card and just be like, pop, pop, pop. Here's 3 VIP passes. Screw the rest of the line. So, unfortunately, we didn't do that. And I say unfortunately because I think they're a little envious of that. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting here like, oh man, well, if I don't get it, great, because I don't want to spend that much.
Right.
5-day passes are like $225, $250. I mean, obviously there's tax, but I mean for 5 days. But I mean, it was like $950 or whatever after taxes and everything. Because yes, the tickets have to be freaking taxed. Bucking Chicago, but anyway. So anyway, I was sitting there. I went out into the hallway on a little ledge, and I had my phone. The Wi-Fi in the building was acting really weird, so I kicked that off. I'm on 4G or 4LT or who knows. They have commercials for 5G now or whatever. So anyway, I'm sitting there on my phone. I'm like, well, here we go. So it was like I think it was like 11 o'clock was when it opened. So I was like, I hit refresh. I wasn't even queued. I was actually just straight in. There was no queue, no lineup, no wait. I literally was like right in. Hey, what tickets do you want? I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me, man.
Kind of makes you wonder how many people really were interested in getting the tickets.
Oh, they were sold out in a matter of seconds. I mean,
That's just really lucky then.
You got
bad luck in a way.
Well, it's good and bad luck. Yeah, you got to understand, those tickets are coveted. There's not many of them. It's supposed to be like the ultimate experience. Yeah. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my God. And they give you a time clock that you have to purchase with them. I'm like, oh shh. So I had to make a decision.
30 seconds.
No, I don't know. It was like 15, 20 minutes, something like that. So I was like, you know what, whatever, screw it. Bought him. And then I get a hold of my buddies, and they're like, are you still in line? Because I was like, if I got him, they had to have got him, right? And I was like, did you get him? Like, no, man. It's like, dude, I got him. It's like, oh, dude, do you still have it up? And I was like, no, man, I didn't think that far.
Plus, you didn't want to drop $2,700 on.
Well, I mean, they obviously would have paid me back, but
yeah.
So yeah, it should be a lot of fun. The cool thing is that the panels, the panels that are going on are under a lottery. So to actually sit in the panel area, you're a part of a lottery for that.
And that's only if you have the special ticket.
No, No.
Oh, okay.
I can get into them all because I paid exuberant amount of money.
Gotcha.
I only really care about 2. 3 technically, because the Mandalorian one, okay, that's probably cool. There should be some sneaky peek things. There's also one on Clone Wars that might have a sneak peek, which we'll see.
Obviously, no video for that either.
Well, there could be.
Really?
Yeah. As far as casting out.
Well, I'm saying, can you take video of all the stuff in the panel?
I doubt that, but they are streaming it into other stages, so people can watch it. It's just like being in there is something else. And then the other one is like the 20th anniversary of Episode 1. Mm-hmm. Hayden Christensen's going to be there, so I figured that would be a cool one to go to. But the one that like literally boys are like in this lottery, like saying, if we don't get this, we are going to Harikari and just die in Chicago. It's like, well, just give me your car keys so I can get back home, boys. And that's the Episode 9 panel.
Yeah.
Because the rumor is that trailer, man.
Why wouldn't it? When you think about it, it's the best time to drop it.
Well, there's still a long March to December. But I think it would be a huge nod to the fans.
Mm-hmm.
Celebration. They didn't have one in 2018. They skipped a year. Mm-hmm. I think it'd be a huge nod to say, yeah, let's do it, man. So that's the thing. That's the big one. So for that one, now the other thing about the passes is they give you exclusive seating. So you have reserved seating, like there's a section.
Yeah.
Now, apparently during the Episode 9 panel, they don't have the same reserved seating, but you're guaranteed a seat in the arena. You just
might suck.
Well, it's going to be first come first serve type of deal, and it keeps getting better. So with these passes, I can actually get in 30 minutes earlier than everyone else. So there's actually a lot of perks to them. You get the special poster, the event poster, custom print art piece for the show, which should be pretty cool. A bunch of other little chintzy shit, But then there's also stuff like you get like 10% off at the store.
Oh, nice.
And
that could pay for itself depending on how much you want to spend.
That's the other thing. I don't know if they looked at this, but I forgot. I haven't told my buddies. It's like, listen, man, if you guys want merch, just let me buy it. So I get 10% off. You pay me back. You get a little bit of a knockoff because I'm sure that stuff is going to be outlandish, man. I don't even know.
Now, do you get 10% off the artwork that you were talking about?
Well, that would be floor exhibitor stuff. So no. This is just what's ever in the exclusive store. Gotcha. And apparently we also get like a half hour, like first ones can go in the store.
Oh, nice. Because that stuff's gonna sell out quick.
Well, we'll see. I'm like I said, I'm pretty stoked about it. I'm not super stoked to be in Chicago. No offense to anybody in Chicago, but I'm not a big city person.
So you're gonna be hanging out with some mega nerds probably in that hour and a half hour before,
dude. Yeah. I mean,
all
listen,
mouth breathers.
I love Star Wars with a passion. It's great. I love sci-fi. I love a lot of things, but growing up, I never felt like I was an outcast. I always had friends with everybody. Yeah. I played, sports with people. I was, reasonably athletic. Maybe not like, not LeBron James, but, like Scottie Pippen athletic, right? You remember all those games of horse we played? Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I have no idea. But the fun thing about Star Wars is there's such a huge mix of different types of fans. I'm really looking forward to seeing the folks in the 501st because I know a lot of people that are going to be there for that.
Yeah,
the cosplay group.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking for old Brent Woodside because I got to get that other Millennium Falcon print, and I think you're also wanting one of those too. Uh-huh. Yeah, I'll be sending you some messages.
Just don't buy me $500 worth of artwork and think I can pay for that.
No, dude, no.
I'll text you a price limit before.
No, I'm totally with you. But that Millennium Falcon print is sweet, and the other one's just as cool. So hopefully he has some more of those because that was last year at WizardCon, but. Mm-hmm. And then the funny thing is after Celebration, I just get this one buddy who also runs a Lord of the Rings, or excuse me, I can't say Game of Thrones podcast. Thank you. Called Bend the Knee. Mm-hmm. He's like, hey man, like the weekend after that is Ice and Fire Con. It's in Ohio. It's like Mount Sterling, I think.
Really?
So
are there still tickets available?
I think so. Yeah, I want to go meet Jamie Lannister.
What date? Oh, nice.
We're going during the weekend. I'll let you know on that.
Yeah.
I just literally learned about that. But let's talk just a little bit more about people that are going to be there. There's only really 2 people that I want to see. Like legit 2 people that I would go pay for an autograph. Okay.
Billy D.
Yes, Billy D. Williams is going. He's got autograph time. I won't do photo ops because I'm fine. I just I'd shake his hand, get an autograph. Other one, Paul Bettany.
Yeah,
I love Paul Bettany.
Yeah,
he's cool. So I mean, there's a couple other ones. There was another one that kind of surprised me. Katie Sackhoff's supposed to be there. She was in one of the Battlestar Galactica, I think, if I'm remembering that correctly. But she was also in Longmire, which I enjoyed that show. But she did like a voice of something. I was like, because
say, who did she play?
I looked down the list. I was like, Katie Sackhoff. Who the hell did? So it was like I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm sorry, I'm blanking, but it was one of the maybe
you remember
Rebels.
Which movie?
No, it was like maybe cartoon Rebels
okay.
or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
see that.
Resistance or whatever. I don't know. So, but yeah, there's a pretty long list of people, decent list of people, all the notables. I'd probably nerd out pretty big if we saw a little Mark Hamill action, maybe. A little Daisy Ridley stops by,
You won't get Ridley. You might get Hamill.
Mark Hamill likes to pop up at those, or he. I don't know if he likes it, but he certainly seems to pop up.
I feel like he'd be the type that does. He loves the fandom, honestly.
He
didn't at one time, but now.
I think it got. Yeah, I mean, it would have
it.
gotten annoying because I think in certain ways, it sort of stunted his acting career. But he's
early in their careers. I mean, him and Harrison really didn't like that they did Star Wars.
I believe it. I mean, Alec Guinness. I mean, who played Obi-Wan. He thought the film was ridiculous. He was not a fan.
Oh, for what he did. I mean, he was into more serious roles at the time.
So that yeah. Well, anyway, how about we knock the yak in a little bit and read our short chapter.
Our 3-page. No, it's not that bad.
Yeah, let's read the chapter here. So again, we are a Star Wars reread podcast. I don't think I reiterated that in the beginning, but I'll tell you what.
Plug.
I was just about to do it. So if you want to interact,
Facebook, and we're done.
If you want to interact with this Star Wars reread podcast, you can always hit us up on Facebook. We are there. Make sure to like the page. Leave us any messages. If you want to talk about the chapter or anything Star Wars, there's a good place to do it. Email address, tcplanpodcast@gmail.com. We also have a Patreon page for patrons, where we have our Dinner with the Patron series. That's just, little fun videos we do. We eat some food, talk about random stuff, and put it up on Patreon. And if you want to support the channel, it's a good place to do it. So, into Chapter 13.
What are we calling Chapter 13? Dark Side Temptations.
Oh, God.
And I'll point out why I say that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. So, actually...
I don't really have a name. I just came up with that on the spot.
Dark Side Temptations. This chapter was kind of random. So, we haven't heard from our good friends Corran Horn and Ganner... What was his last name? Yeah, but what was it? Do you remember his last name? I don't think that.
No, because you never say it.
Well, no, it was Ganner that I hated because I don't know, because I'm a child. But it's been a long time since we heard from them. Last we heard, they were.
Rhysode.
There we go.
It's like literally in the first 3 lines.
Oh, there it is.
Chapter.
Yeah. Got it. You got it. Good job. So, last time we left them, they were getting chased by, what were they called?
Slash rats.
And sand. A lot of sand.
Oh,
and they didn't like it. They're wearing some goggles.
They're diamond because of it. They shine bright like a diamond.
No, shut your mouth. So anyway, this was where they come up to the folks with some blasters on them.
Yeah.
Blast them.
It's a trap.
sort of. Might be a trap. Might be a trap for both of them.
What, both Corin and Ganner, or both groups?
Who knows? Well, Corin straightened up and brushed dust from his shoulders of his green Jedi overrobe. I'm Corin Horn, my aide. I like this, my aide,
Yeah.
Ganner. We've come to, well, the woman cuts him off. I know why you're here, and I'm not going to let you get away with it. So here's probably your favorite part here. Ganner laughed, and then he grossly used his force powers to,
Dark side temptation.
Yeah, so Ganner, always the arrogant one. You think they could stop us? Illustrating his point, he flicked a finger upward. What do you think he did? Like the pointer, like the ET pointer
That's what
finger?
I want to imagine, yeah.
It's like, so do you remember
It was either that or he just gave him the middle finger. Like,
Yeah. Do you remember the video game Booger Man?
Booger Man.
So he was just this disgusting dude, and he flicked boogers at like little monsters and stuff, and like he'd burp and fart on them.
I don't remember that one.
Okay, that I remember renting it from the boxcar video rental place back home, and yeah, it was a weird game, but he did this little flick thing when he flicked boogers at you, and that's just what I'm thinking about, just or that or the ET phone home finger.
The only thing that would have been worse than that if he just snapped his finger.
Oh God. Do a little ray action there. Mm-hmm. So anyway, he flicked his finger, and the two young men suddenly pointed their blasters at the sky. They struggled to bring them back down on target, then clung to the weapons as Ganner lifted the youths off the ground and left them with their feet dangling in the air. You will know my power. Corin flicked a sharp glance. There's a lot of flicking. There's a. It's like he blue steeled him,
He looked down and then went.
Yeah. So he flicked a sharp glance in his direction. Put them down now, and gently. Let's see. I apologize for his enthusiasm. Great way of putting it. Yeah. But I have to tell you that I don't have any clue as to why you think we're here. The woman laughed. I may have been here for 3 months with my students, but I'm not entirely off the net. Okay, so here's the thing. So she's only been here for 3 months, but she seems really off the net.
Yeah.
I mean, did you catch that?
Uh-huh.
Because some of the information coming, it's like, I think you should know this.
Yeah.
If you've only been off the grid 3 months. So 3 months apparently.
Probably
is
not
like
a very
30
good
years,
cell phone reception with all that sandstorm crap
true.
going around.
Slash rats, beating up the cell towers. Let's see here.
Do you think they really still use the term off the net?
Well, they did.
I know, but
Off
it
the
just
net.
is there still an
Like what? Do we do it?
No, I'm saying like was that a common phrase back in when did this come out?
The 90s?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't even know if people really say I'm going off grid anymore.
No.
Off the
not really.
reservation.
There's something stupid that replaced it, I'm sure. But.
Okay, I'm flomping over here. Okay, you said your name is Horn, right?
Corn.
Yeah, Horn. You were with Rogue Squadron. And then Coronado only became a Jedi Knight after peace with the Empire. And this is funny. You were at
Merlst.
It has no vowels. M-R-L-S-S-T.
Merlst.
You're at Merlst, are you?
Imagine she's just like super serious. She's like, wait a minute. You're a Cornhorn. Were you at Merlst?
Yeah. Well, and this is kind of like going into you've been off the grid a lot longer than you think because you say, well, that was before my time. I served with a lot of people who were, name drops, Wedge Antilles, Hobby, Clivane. Clivian, okay. Wes Jansen, okay, that's, yeah, sure, Wes.
Ticho.
Taicho Chukchula, I don't know.
Taicho Selchu.
Well, they're retired now anyway.
Yeah.
And then Corin got some mixed signals. This is definitely Dark Temptations. She certainly recognized some of them, but pretty much anyone in the New Republic of you were there at the university? I was working on my doctorate. The trace of a smile softened her expression. I didn't know the Rogue. And then she's like, you were in the Rogues. Well, I didn't know the Rogues, but I had friends who met them. Like, I had a friend of a friend whose brother, sister's
I didn't know the
cousin.
Jonas Brothers, but I knew someone who met them. They were okay.
God. Well, I mean, you were in the Rogues, right? I mean, I don't know anything about them, but you were totally there, right? But I had friends who met them. One went on to work for the squadron.
Koyi?
Yeah.
It's like a kid trying to say koi fish.
Koi.
Komad. I've met her. So they know each other's mutual acquaintances, which is fun. She got married must be 14 or 15 years ago.
Yeah.
She married Corin from the squadron, as a matter of fact. I know. I was at the wedding. I know, too. I was there as well. Well, I was an usher. Well, I was a bridesmaid. Well, yeah, whatever. Shut your mouths. Really? He was an usher. I just made that up. Really? I was an usher. Didn't have a beard then. I remember a lot of men in uniforms.
So awkward.
I remember a lot of men in uniforms. Oh, yeah. I'm a Niki Pace. I'm sure that's
Anki Pay.
I'm going to say Aniki. I'm putting another vowel in there, but I don't care.
Makes up for Merles.
Merles. Yeah, we got to have extra vowels. I'm running this archaeological survey of Brumil for University of Agamor. University of Agamor. That sounds like a Warcraft thing or something. Why is it you think we're here, Dr. Pace?
But wait, you skipped the Corin noted stiffness in her grip.
Yep. There was a lot of stiffness in her grip. Anyway, various sites, archaeological significant sites, have suffered thefts. The items, though they have not been studied enough for us to be certain, have been suggested to be related to the Jedi Knights before the Purge. They're priceless, of course, since the Empire tried to destroy as much of the material as they could. Most importantly, though, they can tell us much of how the Jedi used to be. And this was actually kind of crazy. So this leads us into a whole nother thing here. So, well, how do you know it was a Jedi doing this? Mm-hmm. And again, a friend of a friend, one of the young men snarled. Well, I have a friend who was on a dig. They left another student at the site to watch over it at night. Right.
When they came back, stuff was gone.
And she
couldn't remember anything.
Sounds bad.
Corin's head came up.
Because he had it down.
Yeah.
The thief had induced amnesia, so she couldn't remember who had taken the items that were missing. Oh, no, that was his question. Okay. No, the man spat. She couldn't remember anything. All she'd learned that year and the year before was all gone.
Well, maybe she just wasn't paying very good attention in class. Did you ever think about that? Maybe your friend's just not very motivated.
Yeah. But basically, she was basically missing 2 years of her life. Well, Corin shivered. He had no talent for telekinesis. We know that because it's been said
20 times.
Several times.
Yeah.
He's not very good at telekinesis. But he was adept at projecting thoughts and images into the minds of others.
Which, I feel like if you can do that, you should be able to do... whatever.
Hey, man.
Never mind.
Who knows? He'd even use the ability to dump people's short-term memories, the last 10 seconds of what they had seen, to blind them to convert entries and escapes.
That's very situational by the sounds of it.
10
seconds.
That's like a ninja smoke bomb. Flash! He's still there.
No,
oh, crap. Another one.
No, I just imagine he's leaning up against a wall and then he slips and he kind of falls out and gets seen. He's like, crap, 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Back under cover.
Well, he also thinks to himself, because I know that because it's italicized. And I know Kip used the ability to wipe the memory of...
Queeks. Zucks.
Don't say cucks.
Zooks. But that's what I want to say.
The architect of the Death Star and the Sun Crusher. He broke her, left her shattered. It was years before she was able to put her life back together and move on after that tragedy. We're going to have to look that person up.
Yeah.
That name
Don't
doesn't
really know
sound
much about the Sun Crusher either. Does that matter?
But the architect of the Death Star.
Yeah.
I don't remember
But
ever
that-
running across that name. This is why we read this stuff, because
Well, yeah, because you watch, Rogue One, and that just wiped it out. Mission on Rogue
oh my
One.
goodness,
So you forgot about it.
many
It
people.
was a memory wipe. It was a Jedi mind trick.
Many people died. Oh yeah, look at that picture. She's blue with
Okay.
weird hair. Looks like a fox on her head. Huh?
What race is that again? That's the same race as
Thrawn.
Thrawn. Yeah.
No, that's good. Amwati. I don't know if that's what
Wati
Thrawn
or
is.
Amwati?
Amwati.
Amwati.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you went Wati or Amwati.
Well, now she has purple hair in that picture. Yeah, she's just an Imperial weapons designer.
What was the Sun Crusher again? Do you remember?
Sun Crusher. I bet it crushes suns. Look, there's a picture of it. It's a super weapon.
Looks like a
It's
sun impaler.
13.5 meters long. It has hyperdrive.
Well, that's good. That's
It
a
ha-
nice feature.
It has the ability to shoot resonance torpedoes, laser cannons, and a tracker beam.
Resonance torpedoes?
Resonance torpedoes.
Oh, I thought you said resin is like it's sticky.
Revan torpedoes.
Resin torpedo.
Well,
Everyone has his mask
let me just say this,
stuck to the side of it.
and this is straight from Wikipedia.
Must be right.
Wikipedia. The Sun Crusher was one of the most powerful super weapons ever devised. End quote.
Okay.
It was nearly indestructible.
Was that before or after the Death Star 2?
But it was capable of unleashing destruction on a magnitude that dwarfed even the Death Star's capabilities.
So it was before the Death Star, of course.
No, I think it was after. Well, I don't know, maybe. Could destroy an entire star system by causing its target... Oh, well, that's stupid. It just blows up the sun. Who cares about that?
That was way before the Death Star.
The Death Star could do that. Get
That
out
was...
of here.
Wait, I just watched
Anyway.
a video on all the mega weapons of Star Wars, and they're like hundreds of years apart from each other,
Yeah, I don't know.
if not thousands.
Well, she was just really smart
Whatever.
and a time traveler. Okay, so anyway, blah, 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 blah. Ganner reacted.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Corn.
so yeah, Corn basically looks over at Ganner because Ganner's a real scumbag. He says, would you know anything about this, Ganner? Have you ever mind roofied somebody, buddy, for 2 years? Did you do anything? Well, he looked at...
Bill Cosby.
No. Cut that out. Ganner reacted if Corn had spit in his face. Nothing. I have no
A lot
knowledge
of spitting
of
on
thefts.
this page.
Yeah, a lot of spitting. And I would not stoop to the same. Still, but you're like aware of like some artifacts that kind of come along, maybe a little unscrupulous, buddy. Oh, let's see here. So anyway, Pace snorted. I like some of the descriptors. They're always fun.
Lots of spitting and snorting in preparation to spit.
Yeah. Oh, well and good for you to say. Just the sort of thing a Jedi would plant in my... This was fun. They had a little fun with this. So basically, Corn's like, he said, no, there's some collectibles. My wife, looks at some of them and blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, that's just the sort of thing a Jedi would put in my mind. That's ridiculous. How dare you accuse us of being thieves? Then one of the other young men barked. A quick laugh. Yeah. That's always a strange descriptor to me. My parents came from Karita. Okay. There are other things I could call Jedi Knights. Like what? Stop, this isn't going to get us anywhere. And he's cold. Let me go into your cave. something about, have you sent any messages? No. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, my goodness. I got really bored in this chapter. I'm sorry. No, I mean, it didn't really pace out a lot of stuff here, to be honest with you. It's just, they're kind of meeting these scientists and scientist, learner, people, student, teachers. It's not even that late. Let's see here. Here was a little bit of this. Ability is rare. This was something about, so the kid was like, don't let him in our cave because they can see the future. Mm-hmm. And then Ganner was like, it's kind of rare and there's not a lot of control. And then, let's see, logically, if we could peer in the future, don't you think we would have come here before you found whatever you found and we would just remove it?
Well, I don't know.
Don't think too long on it, or you'll figure we've planted the memory of this conversation. You'll end up going around and around in your mind and driving yourself to distraction.
So we can steal it.
Yeah, so we can steal it. That was their plan all along. So that was fun. But basically, Corn, they finally kind of they drop it a little bit, and he's like, there are reports of some raiders along the room. And Dr. Pace seems to be a little bit sharp, which means she's probably going to die at some point. Mm-hmm. What sort of raiding? Humans? And Ganner shifted his shoulders. Non-human, we think. So anyway, they go into the caves. Let's see here. They have some dead stuff. Mm-hmm. We'll explain that a little bit. So I should probably find the names of the little creatures. The Schwoopy.
The Schweepy.
There's there's not enough vowels. There's one vowel at the end of the word.
We have to add to it for
the Schweepy. So basically, the Schweepy.
They're so Schweepy. They're just little tired Schweepy.
Well, they had seen these creatures and they're basically herbivores, but they've eaten the planet basically. Mm-hmm. So the slash rats are basically have stayed at the poles. When the original survey of the planet was done, they didn't see these creatures, but I perceive that they must have seen the Schweepy.
Yeah.
Oh, poor little Schweepy. So anyway, the slash rats now, because of the blah blah blah, it's hot, but now we're pulling away from the sun. Now it's colder, so they're going out Schweepy hunting. Well, apparently they don't like the smell of dead Schweepy, so they just keep buckets of dead Schweepy all around there in camp.
They like to eat them, but they don't like the smell of dead ones.
Yeah, it's good.
Because somehow it makes them think there's danger nearby.
Apparently.
But they're the danger, so whatever.
Yeah, it's good. Well, we're also introduced
How did they
to...
figure that out, by the way? Did they just randomly kill Schweepy and then all the slash rats stopped attacking them?
Who knows?
They're like, oh no, the slash rats are going to get us. Quick, kill that Schweepy before we all die. Hey, look what happened, guys. Kill all the Schweepy.
It's a literary thing. It's fine. We're also introduced to another student, Trista Orlanis, one of her graduate students.
A slender, black-haired woman.
Yeah, and she had the eyes for Ganner.
That Corn.
Her smile lingered more in Ganner's direction than Corn's, which he was a little annoyed with. You're married, aren't you? Aren't you, bud? Imperial Survey, scientific explanation, Schweepy, death sense. Let's see here. I'm glad to know you're safe, but you didn't bring us here for a lesson in Bimamelian ecology, Dr. Pace. You reacted to the fact that raiders weren't human. Perhaps you're not a fool, Jedi. No, you wait here. Him. I trust you. I'm not sure. There's a weird sequence of words. She doesn't trust Ganner, which she shouldn't, because he's putting off some weird vibes. But Ganner snorted, and Corn tossed him a wink. There's a lot of wink tossing.
Yeah. Flicking.
Yeah.
A lot of flicking of gazes.
But basically, to wrap this up here, the scientists have a body.
Yeah. What's that body of? A Schweepy. It was a Schweepy body.
Yep, it's using Vong. That's the problem, Doc, I have. After she'd shown it to him, shuddered, remembering the images of Yuuzhan Vong corpses he'd seen in Luke Skywalker's report. I think we've got one of the raiders here. And if they've been here once, there's little reason to think they won't be back. Favorite chapter yet, right?
Yeah. It made me sleepy.
Oh, you're so clever. I hear it though. I mean, it's fine. It's setty uppy, I guess, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Now the next chapter. Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, well, you guys got to wait a whole week for that one.
Yep.
Or
we only have to wait about 10 minutes.
That's true. Like I said, double record tonight, so we're going to probably head on over to that, unless you had anything else you wanted to chat about on this episode.
No, I'll save some for the next episode, since there will be
roll.
no new updates, because it'll be 10 minutes from now.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, hey, we greatly appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully you enjoy the episode today. Keep a lookout for more. Again, have a great rest of your week.
And as always, may the Force be with you.